Beals here with no nonsense, cause you can't make sense if you don't make sense. A pod with freestyle discussion, poetry and social deconstruction.
Alright, this is Big Burn and Beals on the No Nonsense podcast on December 1st, 2014. How disgusting is that? I'm going to go ahead and open it up with a poem for you podcastees. It's called A Little Butter. A little butter, yeah, I'm talking straight cheese. A little butter, bringing kings to their knees. A little butter, got all the hoes chirping. A little butter, even got the yin-yang twins twerking. A little butter, better than your mom's lactose produce. A little butter, got your cockleberry in a noose. A little butter, cracking down on white-collar crime. A little butter, for the rednecks drinking moonshine. A little butter, a wise man once called it the simmer down. A little butter, throws and catches its own touchdowns. A little butter, spread it on a duck's beak and it'll go a long way. A little butter, throwing a hot dog down your sister's hallway. A little butter, has an album so dope, it's sold by the gram. A little butter, posting naked canine pics on Instagram. A little butter, the preferred last meal of electric chair inmates. A little butter, checking your great-grandfather's prostate. As you may have guessed, I want to talk about butter or butter. What do you got to say about butter in general? Do you like to use it when you eat dinner?
I think it's the only thing that really enhances food. I think salt and sugar are really a product of psychoanalysis, and I don't think that it actually has the same effect as that butter would have. Now, when I go and I make a sandwich per se, you have meat, cheese, lettuce, butter, oil, and you put all that in between. But the real thing that actually makes the flavor stand out the strongest is the butter. And so I like to implement that not only on sandwiches, but also in soups, salads, drinks, and any cereal, whatever you may have.
Now, do you buy into the argument that Ron Hubbard, creator of the Scientology movement, invented butter?
I would say that that's pretty accurate, but I want to say that they found a butter fossil, and that one has been put into the butter debate back all the way to the first millennials.
Oh. So are you more of a Generation X or Generation Y, or would you rather see the Generation Next degenerate and die?
What I think is that the only generation that was a good generation were the baby boomers. They're the ones that really saw, they fought in World War I. They enhanced male enhancement, and they sought to end all League of Nations.
That's true. And most of the time when I think of League of Nations, I think of the Marvel superheroes.
Right, and they are coming out with a new League of Nations, Marvel superheroes.
Butter edition.
Ice butter edition, and they're replacing the ice with butter. And it's going to be a new thing. Underneath that is going to be a basketball court made out of rubber bands and beanbags.
Now, in the movie Daredevil, do you think Ben Affleck had a stick of butter stuck inside his crotch area, inside the little panty part?
I think he did, because what that does allow him to do is be more flexible and more agile when on pursuit.
Do you think that he's going to be reprising that butter inside his pants for the Batman roles?
I don't think Ben Affleck will be doing that himself, but the actor Batman will be doing that. Ben Affleck, the actor himself, will not be, but Batman will.
Do you think it takes courage for Batman to play Ben Affleck?
I think what Batman lacks to try and be Ben Affleck is a voice that people recognize. And a symbol they admire.
Do you think he's a symbol of the darling media generation hype media machine?
I think that he was in the movie Darling Limited, yes.
Do you think Woody Allen and Alfred Hitchcock have any connection in the underground scene of underground oil pipes connected to the tyrants of the erstwhile era known as synagogue?
Well, I think that they did know about the underground pipe oil rig system, but I think what they lacked was the knowledge that butter, the pipes were buttered up to allow the oil to go a lot smoother. Therefore, I don't think they understood that the synagogue was gonna implode the way that it did. So I think they were aware of it, but they did not understand that it was going to implode because of the butter, because of the oil.
Whoa, quick for our news break!
This just in. Moscow retaliated against Western sanctions this week by banning imports of Pop-Tart-infested water-based pop culture products from Europe, as well as Britain, France, London, and Austria-Hungary. It was unwelcome news for European producers who export a great deal of expired fruit, cheese, and pork to Russia. Some 1% of European Union food exports, worth about $300 trillion, were delivered to Russia last year, making it Europe's second biggest customer next to Nebraska City. This action raises tension between Lord's High School and the Russian army. The world is waiting to hear from Nebraska City-based high school as we hold our breath, hoping another world war is not upon us.
Can I personally relay experience I had with butter that was both negative and positive at the same time, so I guess at the end of the day it remains a neutral experience. One time my neck was stuck in a staircase and I couldn't get it out, and then this was at school, and then a teacher, I was probably about third grade, a teacher came and lathered my neck up in butter, and then it managed to get me to escape the clutches of said staircase. But while all that was happening, he accidentally grazed his penis on the side of my on my hip, and I don't think it was sexual in nature, but it made me aware that there are other penises that exist out there other than mine, and it was kind of a sexual awakening. And I don't really know, now I kind of associate butter and sex, and I don't know, I'm wondering, do you think butter and sex should be more integrated into the sexual relations of the average American couple?
No.
Why not?
I
You don't think it could be used for lubrication?
I don't think it would turn people on. I think it get people hungry, and that's the bottom line, Bill. And Bill, can you tell me, please, what was the sexual orientation of your teacher's son?
He was a cement mixer, Bill. Well, can you leave us a little poem about butter to summarize the topic for today for our podcast? Ease.
I really wanted to have something to enhance my supper. I was all out of Tupperware, but I did have butter. So I put that on my meat, steak, and potatoes, and then I said, wow, that's so much better.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Hope you got some insight and a few laughs. That's all for now, folks. Yes, goodbye. Till next time, as long as we don't die.